Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Welcome back to IEM Katowice, the major. Started out with a bang, VICI taking down FNATIC. That's a big scalp to take. We're going to move on now. It's CLOUD9 taking on Greyhound. Greyhound Gaming.
It sure is.
The other Australians. Renegades are up.
Yeah, they're currently beating AVANGER, I believe, on the A stream.
Yeah, that's not great for my predictions. I'm not a big fan.
I think would be somewhat of an upset, but nowhere near the level of upset that we just experienced.
Yeah, that was a huge one, wasn't it? Regardless, I have CLOUD9 going 3-0 in my pickups. You?
I have CLOUD9 going through, but
not 3-0.
Similar to what happened with FNATIC, I was scared that someone would drop a map. So yeah, I think they'll breeze through this game though.
I've been telling people since we saw this CLOUD9 core play in Portugal in December that the 4 players, because they played with Refresh back then, that you shouldn't sleep on it. Looked much better. It's a weird lineup on paper. Regardless, we know plenty about CLOUD9. Here's a video about Greyhound.
After qualifying for the minor, man, it's a dream come true. It just feels amazing. Like all the boys have been putting in so much hard work, and man, it's just a wet dream come true. Absolutely love it. The pressure was immense. It's just like it's do or die. Like it's one map, one best of one. You play like countless amount of hours throughout the weeks, like coming into this, and it comes down to one map. It just feels like a sigh of relief, to be honest. It's just like, damn, all that practice like worked out, so it feels good. And the pressure's off, like we've done what we've needed to done, so we're just gonna relax for a bit, and then we'll direct our focus to the major. But honestly, like, this is what we've achieved. Like, what we've achieved now is something that we've really wanted for a long time. So, when there's just no pressure.
As the first, more players walking into his crosshair. Sterling in with 3.
So we're gonna try to leave just like real panic situations and forcing ourselves into a situation where we don't need to. I think as soon as we get like 1 kill in a round, we're like, oh, this is the reaction we've got to do. But sometimes, like, we found out that if you play it slow, just take control of every area, focus on map control more than just getting the bomb down, and just take control of every situation. It's a much better situation for us, and I feel like we've come out on top way more in those situations. For the Australian audience, since it was Australia Day, it just feels so damn good, man. Like coming to the major with 2 Aussie teams, there's 2 people to back. Usually it's just Renegades. So there's 2 people to follow, 2 teams to follow, and hopefully one of us can do some damage, or both of us, hopefully. So if we come up against Renegades at the major, like, oh man, it's bad blood, man. We're gonna get stuck into them, but hopefully we don't. Hopefully we just we take our own little journeys at the major, and we just beat all other teams from other regions.
Greyhound having some fun with their recent successes, qualifying to this stage through the minor, and obviously a lot of pride, as we know, in the Australian fans, in the Australian scene entirely. So let's touch on CLOUD9. Let's go back to them really quick, because on paper this is a very strange lineup, but they seem to have found this weird cohesion where they actually look like a very dangerous team.
Absolutely. My concern is it a honeymoon phase?
Yeah, that is definitely a concern to have. And it's going to be, it's almost like a clash of styles as well when you bring in 2 Europeans. You have a brand new player in Zelsis who's never played on a stage this big. Then you have Automatic and Rush. So it is very much going to be testing of how exactly they want to play the game. Flusha, as an in-game leader, likes to play things slow, likes to play things very methodical, a little bit more passive than we see out of some teams. But they've had good results. They're second place at the E-League Invitational just a couple weeks back. Fell to FaZe from a dominant performance from Guardian. But this is a very dangerous team. What do you think of Automatic switching into the AWP role?
It was a bit of a head-scratcher when I first heard it. I don't think he's necessarily like the first name that comes to my mind when I think of a natural AWP. But within this context of this roster, I think it could work if he's supported enough, if he's allowed to flourish. Because this is a guy that I think is one of the most underrated. I mean, now I think he's getting about where he deserves to be. Yeah. But for the longest time, he was constantly underrated and overlooked because of the other players that he was kind of wrestling with. I think this is his chance now to really show what he's made of. I think
a lot of that was he just has a quiet, laid-back personality. Yeah. So I think that gets a little bit overshadowed when you have like such an exciting player in your team like Tarek, who's obviously a bigger personality, Stewie as well. You can see there in the pick ban phase as well. CLOUD9, the logo has a little bit of a star above it for their 1 major win in Boston just last year. Just a year ago. Over a year ago. At the end of January. Either way, very tough team that a lot of people have going pretty far into this major. Greyhound is going to have their work cut out for him here. And you almost have to feel like this would be I think this would be a bigger upset than VICI over FNATIC almost. In my mind, at least. I don't know if it actually is in terms of rankings and numbers and everything like that, but this feels like this is just too tall of a task for Greyhound.
Sure, yeah, I definitely think that they are the heavy underdogs coming through into this game. I mean, as you say, the fact that, yes, FaZe in the Holy League sort of circuit, not quite firing on all cylinders, they have their own issues to deal with, but C9 did beat them early in that very event as well, by the way. So they've got some big results. I believe they also beat Big recently too. So these aren't small results. These are against teams that are definitely a higher caliber, and I think Greyhound, really the only notable wins recently have been against VICI. And sure, VICI just pulled off a bit of a miracle against FNATIC, but apart from that, there's not much on their resume to really get you too hyped about this match.
It's the major, Vince. You throw it all up in the air.
Exactly.
So, like when you come into a tournament like this, it almost feels like sometimes the results just don't give you as much as you'd really like them to. Either way, this Cloud9 team, this roster has some. I mean, not just automatic, criminally underrated, but Kiyoshima as well. Mm-hmm. He's been this lineup, this 5-man lineup with Zelsis in it, has only played 10 matches together. Kiyoshima is the highest rated player of all of them. Across those 10 matches. But then you go to Flusha, who I think is a little bit, not necessarily underrated, but I think there's a little bit of a quality of overlooking him because he did have a very rough end in FNATIC where he just wasn't performing well. But this seems to be a brand new Flusha coming over to Cloud9 wearing the black and blue, so to speak.
A rejuvenation. A chance to prove himself again and a completely fresh start. I think it's a good point to raise. Obviously, we just saw FNATIC bow out in sad times as far as they're concerned, but this is where Flusha with this roster, I mean, it really, I feel like now the expectations are maybe going up a little bit because of some of their previous results, but you have to keep in mind, as you say, they've only played 10 maps. This is a new roster. They have not been together for very long at all. So you have to put that into context. You have to put that into consideration as well.
Certainly do. They've shown good things for being such a young team, and even Zelsis. You know, if you're coming into a lineup like this as a new player who hasn't played at this level, really, you get a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, a little bit of a lax of criticism on your performances. He's done a great job of having impact. I don't think he's put together a phenomenal game from start to finish quite yet in this lineup, but they trust him a lot. It's super interesting, and that would be a really fun kind of thing to question them on in an interview. Is why do you give him so much trust? Because when we watch him play, and I'm sure we'll see it in this match, we saw it at Ely, we saw it at the IBA Power Tournament to start the year as well. He's a player he anchors bomb sites on the defensive side. They put him on the attacking side. They put him in situations where he's going in and just trying to find the opening frag by himself with like a flash or two from his teammates. But they're really trusting him to have impacts that can give them openings. It's not like they're just plugging him in and putting him in a position and just say, we're going to do all the work, and if they come to you, do what you can. They're actually relying on him to produce for this team, and he's done a pretty good job of delivering on that. This is going to be a whole different stage, though.
Oh, for sure. Obviously, you have an extensive knowledge of the NA scene. Would it be fair to say that he kind of came out of nowhere?
I think I don't know if he necessarily came out of nowhere. I think the players, as a viewer of the professional scene, obviously this is going to feel like he came out of nowhere. But as players, they've played with him for a long enough time. He's been around in the scene and competing in some teams in MDL and some of the lower divisions as well. But certainly it's going to be head scratcher. But guess what? The last time they did this, it was with Stewie 2K.
Right.
He definitely came out of nowhere. And not to say Zelsis is going to be like become a phenom like Stewie was so quickly, but Cloud9 has a record of going down and getting some people that are lesser known that they like the qualities that he brings in terms of his dedication and approach to the game and approach to competition. And Zelsis has a phenomenal personality to be able to handle this kind of a situation, to kind of pick up and learn how to play at this level.
Yeah, by all accounts, a super nice, chill guy. Very easy to get on with. So
yeah,
could certainly be the kind of personality that they're looking for to jump into the Cloud9 roster. And I mean, it is something that we've discussed many times in the past as well, with rosters sort of coming to their end. Obviously, we're in Poland. Virtus Pro definitely springs to mind. So Cloud9 dipping down into these sort of lower tier quotation marks, because Zelsis definitely isn't a bad player at all, and giving them a chance. I mean, it's a real hope to try and nourish a player and kind of mold him in the way that you want him to play. It doesn't really come with an ego, or
absolutely.
Emotions.
Oh, and especially if you come into a team with everyone on this team outside of Zelsis has won a major. Automatic and Rush have one each. Obviously, that was Boston. Flusha has 3. Keo has 2. There's a lot of major winners surrounding this new guy to give him advice, to give him, buy him some space with how good they can play and rely on their experience to be the rock that kind of overcomes some of the mistakes he's definitely going to make at times. Regardless, switching over to Greyhound, I mean, this is a team that, I mean, it's pretty impressive they were able to qualify here. Remember, it's one of those situations where it's almost like they have, in a way, you know, we had it with, like, you know, some of in the Danish team, the farm teams for Astralis, it felt like all the other Danish teams were. Greyhound, especially losing some high-impact players over to Renegades and still able to get here. That's pretty impressive stuff, and we saw it in the video discussing that, you know, you're adapting. This Greyhound team is adapting to the way they play the game. Every time they come into an event like this, every time they go to the minors, every time they compete with better teams, they're learning and they're adapting their own play style, and that's pretty cool to see. But this is going to test everything they've kind of learned so far in this team's and this roster's, you know, young lifespan together. It
actually reminds me, and by all means, I'd be very curious in your thoughts on this as well. It reminds me a little bit of how I felt when Renegades started to kind of take the world by storm to a degree. They'd kind of come to a new scene. They obviously went across to America for a while. Obviously, Chad is going to have very distinctive memories of that. And they kind of knocked away this whole myth of what a lot of the NA teams were saying, well, oh, we don't have enough teams to practice with. And then Renegades come out of nowhere and they start posting up some really big results. And I kind of get the same feeling with Greyhound Gaming too.
Well, they're certainly going to have a chance here to open everyone's eyes to how good they can be. The number 22nd ranked team versus number 8. So another opportunity for a pretty big upset. What was the first one? It was 35. VICI was 35 and FNATIC was 6. So, I mean, by numbers, by ranking, that is a far bigger upset. But here we go. CLOUD9, the big favorites in this matchup here on Mirage. And CLOUD9, a pretty good Mirage team.
They certainly are. They've played this 7 times. Obviously not in this entire roster, but over the last 3 months. 57% win rate, not the greatest.
Listen, they beat FaZe at E-League 16-3 on this map. So, I mean, they've got some power. And this is going to be cool. We're going to see Automatic doing some mopping. CLOUD9's going to start on the T side. Greyhound starting on the defense. And I think much like Vici, I guess the story you have to have is hopefully Greyhound gets a huge start on this first half on this defensive side so they don't have to play that grinded out style on the T side. Worked for Vici. Greyhound's got a chance here as well.
They sure do. Dexter going to be with the smoke and the defuse kit and taking them over towards the A side, playing on the CT boxes. Meanwhile, CLOUD9 aggressively pushing their way onto B. It's the B split. They're tried and tested, and it's going to be Urcast. Oh, that headshot mid-air, and he's picking up more. Single-handedly swats aside Russian Kiyashima and gives Greyhound a great chance to capitalize.
Oh, no plant yet. That might be a bit early for Dick Stacy, but he's going to find the kill. Missed shot from Flusha, and a beautiful follow-up. Second one, Automatic goes down, and it's the rookie. Everything to do, and he's delivering. A 1-on-2, and Greyhound slows down the retake.
It truly is a baptism of fire for Zelsis. Already picked up 3. Sterling and Malta remain. And his spidey senses are tingling. He's going to pick up another headshot. Can Zelsis feasibly pull this one off? It's all down to Sterling, whittling away the time. Oh, kid, but it doesn't matter. Zelsis with a beautiful clutch, and CLOUD9 will pick up the first round.
Welcome to the majors, young man. 5 kills, an ace in the pistol round, and bails CLOUD9 out of a hole. That is a beautiful round.
Straight into a match force. Bit of an anticlimax.
Urcast and Dick Stacy did everything they possibly could to win Greyhound the pistol, and Zelsis just one-ups them. I mean, you almost have to. I don't know if this is a tech or a tactical timeout or what's going on, but I wouldn't even blame them if they called the tactical. If they were just like, all right, well, has not started out well. Let's just call it. But it is a technical pause that we're going to have in this heading into the second round. But that's just going to let us sit here and marinate in how godlike of a round that was from Zelsis.
And you better believe they're going to be doing the exact same thing. You just sat there like, oh, did we really just lose that Zelsis with an ace, clutch, everything, all the accolades going his way? I mean, if this were to be a tactical timeout, it's definitely a detox timeout. It's like, yeah, just cleanse me of everything that I've just experienced, please.
Oh dear. What a way to start this. All right, so CLOUD9 up 1-0. Vici was able to upset FNATIC partially off the back of winning both pistols. Not an available option for Greyhound. Well, that's one way. You know, I've always, for me, when I used to compete, having an amazing pistol round was like the best thing in the world. If you go into a match and you're nervous at a tournament like this, having like an incredible, like if you have like one of those pistol rounds, you get like 3 really quick headshots, even if you die afterwards, it just feels like it takes so much weight off of you. And an ace is just going to be much better. You're like, yep, this PC feels great. You know, I'm feeling very comfortable. I can dominate these guys. That's a good way to get a young guy started in a major.
And I guess going into that round as well, from his perspective, it's like, well, I've got nothing to lose. No one really expects me to clutch from this ridiculous scenario. Oh, I've pulled it off. I'm a god. And then just confidence oozing through. I mean, this could also be a bit of a detriment for Zelsis as well. You're feeling like you're on top of the world and then there's just a timeout. And you don't know how long it's going to last for. Is he going to be able to jump back in? And maybe Greyhound are able to just, shrug it off and be like, yeah, it obviously sucks, but at the end of the day, we got some kills. We actually forced Cloud9's back against the wall.
Yeah.
They also landed some... Urcast, I think it was, that was playing on short side.
He landed two one-taps.
Yeah, sick one-taps. One of them was in midair.
Yeah, that was... It was all perfect for Greyhound up until Zelsis wrecks him.
Exactly. I'm not too sure what the tactical issue is. Technical, I should say. But looks like the players are deep in thought.
Well... technical timeouts, you're not allowed to speak.
That would explain it.
Yeah. So, everyone's just kind of got to sit there and stare at each other awkwardly. What are Keo and Automatic doing? They're playing some kind of a game. Both with the mouse upside down. Flush is getting involved now.
You just know the conspiracy theories are gone crazy. The tinfoil hats are on.
Yeah. Well, that's the sound of people accepting to start the game back up after the timeout. And here we go, it looks like. Now we're starting to see some lips move. Now we're starting to see some communication. Freeze time winding down into round 2.
Oh, it's been paused again.
Bloody hell.
Just when you think...
Why is it always like that? Why they always got to wreck me?
Drag you backwards. There's not exactly much for us to break down. If you just joined us, you just missed an absolutely sick Zelsis clutch.
Yeah, just go to Reddit. It'll be on there anyway.
Yeah, definitely up there. I think it's safe to say the play... Well, actually, I haven't seen the Renegades of AVANGER one, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better play than that.
Yeah, I think so as well. Zelsis has got a pretty small but budding fan base over in the States. You gotta imagine there's a lot of people really excited and happy about that pistol round. Steady's been great at providing impact, and I mean that's massive.
A few more rounds like that, and you'll have a bunch more fans, that's for sure. Seems like there is some kind of...
That's a cool looking mouse bungee. Almost looks like a straw.
I'm all on that wireless mouse hype now.
Are you?
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I think I mentally psyched myself out of it. I had like some weird stutter on my PC, and in my head I just convinced myself that it was the wireless mouse.
Feels bad, man.
But I was loving the life for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I went back.
Yeah, I'm all wireless now apart from the keyboards. I can't go back anymore.
Yep. I don't do the wireless headset. That feels awkward to me.
Oh, it's so freeing.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you take it into the bathroom when you're gaming with friends?
You better believe it.
Do you talk to them?
I don't go that far.
Okay.
It'd be a bit weird.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be like, eye contact in urinals.
Do you have voice activation?
No.
Okay.
That's actually one of my biggest trigger points is people that don't use push to talk.
Really?
You just hear them breathing in your ears. Like,
what if they have
it
it set up properly so that they're not obnoxious? Like a noise gate and all that?
Yeah, in which case fair enough.
Okay.
But people that don't set it up properly, there's a special place in gaming hell. I don't want to hear you eating an apple. I don't want to hear you breathing.
Just forced to play like Oregon Trail from the 90s for the rest of your life. It's like eternity of Oregon Trail.
Exactly. Which is how the players might be thinking right now. Like, can we just get into the game?
I know. All this waiting.
It seems like it's an issue with Greyhound, at least.
Yes. I'm imagining it's a headset issue since he has that off and they brought a new one in and they're unwinding the cord. Figured it out. We're like...
Detectives on the case.
Yep.
Cloud9 just chilling there. Seemed very calm, collected. I mean, you would be after you just pulled off a clutch like that, but...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, remember, this is the 4 players on this team have an unbelievable amount of experience competing at a high level. So they've sat through plenty of these tech delays at various tournaments as well.
So what, from your perspective, what goes through your head at this kind of a point?
If you're Greyhound?
Yeah.
I mean, well, first thing, obviously they can't talk, so I mean, you have a limited amount of like communication you can have and everything. But as an individual, I think you have to be saying to yourself, all right, listen, everything went great in that pistol round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had ourselves, what, a 4-on-1, I think that was.
Yeah.
So we had the opening 2 kills. Dick Stacey got us 2 kills. We had a massive advantage in that round. So you focus on that. You say, we can hang with these guys. We had a great round, and yeah, we let it slip to Zelsis, but people on this team, we're not going to be losing every 4-on-1 that we get in this game. So you just stay confident. It's the pistol round. You brush it off. You're going to forget about it quick enough anyways when you get into the action. You just don't take the fact that you blew that round to heart. Which, I mean, admittedly is difficult, but you have to look at the positives of that round. Like Dick Stacey performed, Urcast performed, and outside of an incredible individual performance from Zelsis, that's a round win, you know, probably 49 times out of 50.
Focus on those positives. AK-47 for Zelsis. He's going in big in this round, not holding back with any SMG shenanigans. Automatic hasn't really invested. Again, discussed this before. He is now picking up the AWP for Cloud9. Some money towards that fund, just slowly, systematically pushing their way onto A, and they're just starting to realise that Greyhound have stacked the B site with full USPs. So it's going to be a clean, comfortable round for Cloud9. See if they can get those SMGs up close and personal, farm themselves some cash. But off to a solid start. Flashbang into connector. Kiyoshima is going to check it, no one's home. I mean, there could even be a call here for Greyhound to just save these USPs, not give any extra money away to Cloud9, knowing that there's going to be more SMGs in play. But now Flash Up stands up, lands one, nearly a second, and Rush will do the rest.
Yeah, a couple of kills out towards CT spawn, and it's just Urcast. And yeah, for whatever reason, Cloud9 hunting them down in this second round, even though it really doesn't matter. Regardless, no one falls for Cloud9, so plenty of money. Flusha going for the fist bump. It's not coming quick, but there we go. All's good. Cloud9 has that interesting thing. Remember, they have Golden from the previous major, so Zelsis was actually registered as the coach to be able to play. And they do have coaches here. They're in the midst of a swap where they've had... They have Rambo that they've had recently is going to be the one to take over after the major.
Did Big have a similar thing with Nex as well? Coach and then ended up stepping in?
I'm not sure how they're doing that. I would imagine so, yes. First, fast-paced initially. That's Kiyoshima applying a lot of pressure with smokes and nade. I mean, this is one of the rounds where Cloud9's going to know that Greyhound has very little utility, so force some of it up early. Rush going to be the next one up. This should be traded by Zelsis. Missed his opportunity, but Dexter's trapped. There's nowhere for him to go. He's got one flashbang, but he certainly can't use that in Flusha. Ooh, thought that would be much easier. He's fortunate to get that down to 4 HP.
Absolutely. Lost a lot of his health as a result, not instantly shutting him down. Dick Stacey, though, organ hand. Only able to get one. And Automatic's AWP will shine in mid. Sterling and Urcast. Definitely not out of the realms of possibility.
No, but this round has had to slow down naturally because Cloud9 has left the bomb in T spawn. So they have a pretty good standing at this A bomb site, a foot in the door, but they can't take advantage of it. Celsius still out towards mountain boxes. He probably heard the footsteps of Urcast rotating into the bomb site, but probably has no idea that he's rotated all the way to connector at the moment. Either way, Greyhound... They really can't hold this A bomb site. They're going to have to retake it eventually. Urcast could get 1 or 2 as they enter in, but no noise being made by Cloud9 quite yet.
He's in connector, looking to mid. Now the noise is going to start to come in, but it's a flashbang. Somehow Zelsis doesn't capitalize. Really should have been a kill going the way of Cloud9. Still bomb plant in effect. The HP will slightly favor Greyhound Gaming, but positionally Cloud9 are large and in charge. With the AWP of Automatic peering down towards it. That's a beautiful flick. Right onto Urcast in a second. Not a bad start for Automatic with that AWP. 3 kills in the round.
That was so fast, that flick down. Well done from Cloud9. Again, Zelsis probably going to be frustrated with that missed opportunity in towards connector, but they win the round, so you can kind of sit back and relax. Greyhound down 0-3. Another round with just pistols for them. P250s, Deagle's purchased up. 1 smoke on Dick Stacey with armor. He had the most money, obviously. Gonna try and do something to delt this economy building up in the Cloud9 offense.
The smoke from Dick Stacey has been taken over towards the B side of apps. Does have Kevlar. Fortunately for Urcast, he decides to dip out of ladder room because a nade had his name written all over it. Loses a third of his health. But in terms of the round itself, it's very similar to what we saw earlier with the full USP buy. Cloud9 really should be taking advantage of this and picking up a 4-0 lead. Urcast not too far off with the Desert Eagle, but Rush will punish him.
Look at Kiyoshima pressuring again towards the B bomb site. Seems like the game plan early on for Kyo is to get this defense used to using utility, or so worried they have to use the utility. There's a double kill for Dexter. Out of bullets, he's got to reload. And Flush is going to spam him down before we can get a follow-up peek. But good damage dealt from Connector. Opens up a chance that this could actually work out in their favor. Dick Stacy now with the Deagle, but he's smoked off. Flush is going to spam right back perfectly. And it's just Malta.
Yeah, the importance of putting the smoke down and not taking any chances totally neutralized Dick Stacy's position. And Malta does have an AUG. I was about to say, does he not realize he picked that one up? Because he definitely want to take the AUG over the Deagle. I mean, maybe one of the things in the back of his mind is the Deagle's a one-hit headshot at range. But you don't have Kevlar, aim punch becomes an issue. But either way, it looks like he's going to be moving into more of a saving position. Look for some exit frags.
Yeah, once you pick up this AUG in this kind of a situation, a 1-on-3 outside of the bomb site, no armor, no kit, you just your entire everything you need is just saving this AUG for the next round. Play the economy game this early in the game.
Malta, bro, you've got 5 bullets. Bruh.
It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong.
He had more than enough time to reload it as well.
I don't know if you know this, Vince, but he can't hear you.
True. If only he could. 4-0 start anyway for Cloud9. It will be a full buy for Greyhound Gaming. And this is on the CT side. So it's not going to get any easier when the roles are reversed.
Alt pass back to automatic. On the CT side, Sterling's got it. We'll see if Kiyoshima pressures towards that B bomb site. He's in that direction at the moment. Sterling peering out towards top mid from Connector. It's Dick Stacy who's going to have to contend with Kiyoshima, it looks, throughout this half. Molotov down to slow and back off any early pressure coming from Cloud9. Mid is in control of the CT side. Dexter playing the anti-flash for top mid. Peering towards underpass with Sterling with the op looking at those boxes. 4-0 for Cloud9. Minute and 15 left in the round.
Not too much utility has been expended on either side though. A shoulder protruding around the corner. Not going to be capitalized by Sterling, but Dexter hasn't really budged an inch. Going to hold his ground with the AUG. The Flash is now looking to neutralize him, but his eyes have cleared and Flusher will be there to close them once more with his AK-47. Cloud9 still have a bucket of time to play with too. 50 seconds as the bomb starts to traverse its way through T-spawn towards A.
Oh, and Celsius has just walked up. Malta has no idea anyone's up A ramp, but hiding at the default boxes. Sterling rotating around as well. The op towards Ticket Booth is going to get smoked off. Molotov out towards triple. That's beautiful execution. Nice utility usage from Cloud9. Should give him the opening, but Malta still alive inside the site. Now he's going to swing. Finds automatic. Zelsis is blind. Goes down without a fight. Great double kill from Malta to hold on to the site.
A perfect flashbang too, accompanying that. They're completely blind. But Cloud9 is still in this round, but for how much longer? 15 seconds. Kiyoshima, 1-on-3. Can they pull the rabbit out the hat once again? First kill going to go his way, but it's at the cost of 2/3 of his health. Oh, he's threaded the eye of the needle with that second frag onto Sterling, though, and just about has enough time for the bomb plant. There's no nades from Dick Stacy to blow him up outside the backside here, and Kiyoshima is going to task. He's not far off from any of those headshots. Somehow still alive. Ooh. That's the headshot, and Cloud9 have done it again. Greyhound must be devastated.
That's the thing. That's the part that's going to sting. That's 2 rounds now early on in this game where they've had such massive advantages. Malta gave them everything they needed. He occupied Cloud9 while the smokes faded. Keo had to take those duels. Every single choke point wins him out. He's been a phenomenal addition for this Cloud9 team. But still, if you're Greyhound, this is quickly feeling like a gut punch.
Another day, this could have been a completely different scoreline. Could be a 3-2. Greyhound Gaming could be in the lead. Instead, they're on to a half buy with a scout and some pistols. And Cloud9 in a commanding 5-0 lead. These are rounds Greyhound Gaming should have won comfortably. Dexter slightly off on the scout shot. Just backs away. Still going to have presence on the B apps, but he is all by his lonesome. It's mainly an A-sided defense from Greyhound.
They need to do a better job in these situations. I mean, that was first Zelsis in the pistol round, and now Keo in his that 1 versus 3. When Greyhound has the advantage, they're not putting themselves in positions to work together. There's no one taking contact and no one peeking from a different angle to occupy Keo's attention and have someone else just get a free kill from an angle he's not considering. They've been able to find their isolated 1v1s in those scenarios. And that's really the backbreaker for Greyhound early on. Rush has position in connector while the rest of his team works towards B. He's just listening for information, listening for an opportunity to pounce. 2 players close A ramp. There goes Rush. Malta's actually going to find him in connector. I'm not sure if Rush turned the corner, but either way, the scout has a chance. And there's the headshot. Dexter's going to get a follow-up tag on his Zelsis, who's the only player on the ground. Flush coming up from Catwalk. They need this kill, and Zelsis is going to get it. AK has been recovered from Malta, but not for long. Cloud9 plant the bomb, and now are favored to get their 6th.
Drive-by shot from Flusher with the AK. Pixel perfect, and Cloud9 live to fight another day once again. There's Flusher for his 3rd. And Urkas can only really hope for some exit frags at this stage. See if he can take an AK out the round. Cloud9 will be 6-0 in the lead. Now Flusher hopping up. He's going to skew the headshot angle, so he gets the upper hand onto Urkas with a 4K to round it off.
Full losing bonus has been in the favor of Greyhound for now 2 rounds, so they'll have pretty much whatever you could possibly want. All the utility, any weapon you need, they've got it. 2 AUGs, M4, and 2 AWPs. Automatic still has his. But pretty soon, pretty quickly, Cloud9, this is going to feel like they're just running away with the half. 6-0, you can still salvage it if you're Greyhound. The half's not over just yet, despite how dire it may seem. Flashbang's not effective. That's a brutal miss for Malta. They're going to keep running, and he grabs the angle, but there's nowhere for him to go. He has to get in towards ladder room. He can't pull all the way back. And Cloud9, they need to eliminate him quickly. Urkas there for the help, and another missed shot from Malta is going to spell his death.
So many opportunities there to strike. He only gets 1. Still, though, Greyhound are a player to the good, with Dick Stacey still occupying the site. Cloud9 unable to scavenge your way through onto the B side of the map. Now going to look to make an inroad into mid instead, an underpass. But Urkas has it covered.
Cloud9 need Greyhound to make a mistake. They just used all their utility trying to force someone into an unfavorable position, and Greyhound really didn't bite on it. Good composure there with the player advantage. But there's really nothing for Cloud9 to use to execute onto this bomb site. They need someone to walk into their crosshairs. They need a mistake from Greyhound.
So far, no mistakes have been made. 35 seconds coming up on the timer. Automatic desperately trying to carve out a play. Nothing's forthcoming. Give credit to Greyhound. They're not budging an inch. Dexter now. He's going to capitalize as Rush feels the AUG firsthand. Dick Stacey spraying down onto Kiyoshima. Automatic is going to make this as costly as possible, but only 1 kill in his hand.
Nice round from Greyhound, starting with that op on Malta, at least to get the information, and just stalling out that split towards the B bomb site. Finally, Greyhound on the board, 1-6. It's their first round. And they still have the double op set up. But they have to win this round. They have to string them together because the losing bonus had been reset with that victory. So losing this would be pretty disastrous for the CT economy, and that would really question the rest of this half. Good leg shot onto Kiyoshima. Sterling still looking for his first kill in this opening match of the major.
Oh, that nade. Plum on automatic down to 48. So it's a solid start in terms of damage output.
Yeah, really good job in the early stages of this round by Greyhound to get the damage done. Even without a kill, you've softened up a couple players for when the hit eventually does come in.
Smoke Not going to deter Sterling from pushing forward. But he must feel quite vulnerable if a player were to push in the smoke, which is why Urcaster's with him. It's two-man hit squad in connector. Trying to lock off mid. Unbeknownst to Cloud9, no one is on short, but that's going to be in the back of their minds. Malta's peaked from there in rounds prior. They try and fend off the window once again. Molotov into connector. So slowly but surely they're making inroads through mid. We've got half a minute just about coming up on the timer. So again, we could be running into a similar situation to the previous rounds.
That smoke's nasty from Malta. His teammate does go down. That's Urcast in towards connector, which is actually going to force Sterling to commit more towards the A bomb site. Same with Dick Stacy. They're making the wrong read here, and Malta's going to go down for free. Rush does the damage and automatic holds the angle.
Even though Dick Stacy has pulled off a kill, he's still stuck. Unable to stop the bomb from being planted. It's been planted for short side, out in the open. And Greyhound know this round is over. They're going to save. So Cloud9 going to pull off the 7-1. And as you highlighted before, Moses, the round loss bonus has been completely scrapped.
It's not the worst thing in the world, though, with Greyhound saving with 3 players alive, because I believe it's Dick Stacy who can drop an M4 over to a teammate and still keep his. Excuse me, it's Dexter. He'll be able to drop the op over. Or the M4. That round is just won by experience. That's great tactical decision-making from Cloud9, how slow they played it. That smoke that I mentioned from Malta came out at 33 seconds, which would have run the timer down very, very low in B halls. But because his teammate went down, because they started rotating away from the B bomb site, believing it was going to be an A hit, Malta just had too many choke points to check, and he's trying to get a jump on the rotation, and just all collapses from there.
Unfortunate timing, but Cloud9 certainly won't feel that way. Flusher has, I think, over 140 ADR. Not too shabby at all.
One time the best performing player at the majors.
We discussed how he kind of fell off, but Cloud9 is now a second shot of it, a second go of it, and so far
he has been reborn.
Indeed. We've had the baptism of Celsius and the resurrection of Flusher, perhaps.
Well, Keo just looking for some aggression. If you're Cloud9, you know there's at least 3 guns on the board, and you got to assume that they're going to force buy around those. So probably not quite sure there's 5 rifles out there, but know that it's going to be as strong of a buy as possible for Greyhound. So taking this one cautiously. Good kill from Dexter again. Cloud9, this is that Flusha style. You're going to see it on every map of Cloud9 as long as Flusha's calling. They do like to play the early games pretty passive, so if you're on the defensive side of things, most maps you can actually get away with being pretty aggressive on your CT side. And Greyhound now have a couple gun rounds where they've been able to control mid for a decent portion of the round.
Sterling, 27 ADR. Been a rough day at the office so far as far as he's concerned, but still can bounce back. Malta, pop flash, no one's home. You hear footsteps momentarily up ramp just in time to drill. Kiyashima with the FAMAS. Going to be able to trade to the AK. Bombs also in a horrible spot. And the strength in numbers from Greyhound Gaming. This is looking very good for their second round. Zelsis has already pulled off a ridiculous clutch, but this time it's against full weapons and not much time left. Automatics going to chime in for the first kill for Cloud9. But 10 seconds to go. And both killed within a millisecond of each other. Much better from Greyhound Gaming.
I'm kind of surprised they went for that round, to be honest with you, with 15 seconds left, still trying to pick up the bomb and throw Molotovs into the site. That was a pretty extended battle with no one committing, so there was going to be plenty of rotations on the defense over to that bomb site. And without saving those weapons, now they're missing that AWP they've had pretty much every single gun round. Now they're kind of having to scrap together a buy with some utility, so those could have been valuable weapons as Flush is forced onto a Deagle. Rush doesn't have any nades. Keo only has a flashbang, so scraps for Cloud9, but this time all 5 players heading towards A ramp. No one even in halls to attack Palace.
Very much one-dimensional.
This is a disaster of a setup for Greyhound. This is probably the worst possible setup you could have. They're all going to be locked out by smokes. This is going to be a free plant for Cloud9, and it's going to have to be a 5-on-5 retake.
They have plenty of nades, though, to support that retake, and damage being inflicted, not quite enough to silence the bomb planter of Zelsis. He's able to scamper away. Automatic already making a run towards mid. You're moving into connector momentarily.
Look at all the utility on the CT side they have to use, Vince. If they have their protocols down in practice, this is going to be tough hold for Cloud9.
This is where I think Automatic is going to be such a linchpin. The bomb is planted for his position. Rush has to come out into the open, but there's so many nades. A barrage blotting out the sun. Zelsis, the only player so far to capitalize, but here comes Automatic's position. Spoilt for choice. Stuck in no man's land. And it's looking bad for Cloud9. Oh, no! The last bullet lands! And Greyhound Gaming again. The tragedy has struck.
This might be the unluckiest half of Counter-Strike I've seen in a long time. I don't even know if Keo realized where the bomb was planted. I feel like it had to have been a teammate telling him that it was planted at the other boxes while he's spraying.
Last bullet just clips the diffuser. That is unbelievable. And yeah, I agree. I think another day, this is like a 5-4 sort of scoreline, 5-5 even.
Jesus. You gotta feel bad for him. Well, 8-2 in the favor of Cloud9. A 1 versus 4 in the pistol round, a 1 versus 3, I think, in the first gun round for Kiyoshima, and now that from Keo as well.
Well, somehow Greyhound have got to put that deep into the back of their mind and forget everything that's happened till this point. They actually haven't played that bad. That's the sad part. Urcast setting himself up onto short, but there's plenty of smokes being utilised from the terrorist just to lock off connector. And Urcast feels like his best bet is to play aggressively, to take the fight to the terrorists. But be careful what you wish for. There's 3 Ts just around the corner. Rush, Automatic and Flusher. Rush is the first one in, and he's the first one put down in the round. Urcast also able to scamper away, join his teammate Dick Stacy on B side. Decent start for Greyhound again.
Look at Dexter. He's over in T-spawn at the moment. He's got all the information in the world, and Cloud9's actually going to rotate right back at him. Is Keo going to be aware? Is he checking for this? Big battle to win for Dexter, and he's just shrunk the map in a big way. 4 players for Greyhound leaning towards this B bomb site. Just now rotating over. There's an opening. There's a chance for Cloud9 to get into this site despite everything. They are going to be surrounded. 3 different choke points they have to worry about, but they're handling it pretty well, and a missed opportunity for Dexter there, but that's where Malta pounces.
Dexter missing out is Malta's gain. And now Automatic, 10 seconds. Not going to do anything. Stuck in the middle of 3. And Greyhound do get a third round, pardon me.
It's actually impressive that Cloud9 had a chance to win that round while having the A bomb site, but it's just too many choke points to worry about. You have to worry about A ramp, CT spawn stairs, and towards jungle. And even Catwalk was involved in the action there. So Greyhound had everything pretty much covered due to that flank from Dexter. 11-7 for him. 121 ADR leading his team. But an 8-3 lead for Cloud9 still. They are forced back onto pistols, though. The money has run out.
Again, it's going to be aggression. This time it's Urcast. And rounds prior it was Dexter. This could work against Greyhound, though. If he gets plucked out, a 1-for-1 trade would be worthwhile for Cloud9. Not just these pistols, but it's not going to happen. He gets it away, and he's fully healthy too. So the trade's very much going the way of the CTs. And Urcast will add another notch to his belt.
This is a good round for Greyhound to just build some confidence. You finally have the ability to breathe after a really tough start to this game, but you know, against just pistols, you can get a little bit of your confidence. You can kind of gather your feet underneath you. You know the money has run low for Cloud9, so now you just sit back and relax and just play your game.
And even though it's just pistols, Cloud9's still not really in a position to do anything economically speaking. Maybe a couple more deagles, not much else. This is Greyhound's chance to start to get some rounds back.
I'd like to see maybe a couple deagles. More importantly, I'd like to see a little bit of utility. Maybe just try and get a plant. Just do some kind of an execute onto the A-bomb site. See if you can get in and get the bomb down and just go from there. Looks like utility is just going to be one flashbang. That's on Zelsis, who's over towards A-ramp with flush up. Just one pop flash over, stream out of Palace. See if you can eliminate that one player in the site, get the bomb down.
Yep, known as the waterfall. Going to start to pour their way out of Palace, but there's a dam implemented by Greyhound. And the current has been completely swept aside. Cloud9, it was pretty much a throwaway round anyway, because they've got full weapons now, but again, it's confidence building.
Yes. Let's see what Greyhound can do here, back against the guns. All AKs for Cloud9. Automatic's still not able to afford that op again. Or he could have, I think, if he chose to go that route.
Yeah, I think it would have been a glass cannon. And that's the beauty of having a player like Automatic. He's not a one-weapon wonder. We know the guy is very good with rifle too.
This is a good setup for Greyhound, though. 2 players in Connector 2 at the A bomb site. They can spin very quickly and help their teammates out. Rush with the entry attempt. He's already underneath. Balcony jumping, though. Sterling's going to pick him out of the sky right before he can get anything done, and that is a big loss for Cloud9 in this round. Force away. Missed smoke gives Zelsis an opening.
Red Mist maybe descending a little bit too quickly for Sterling. His aggression and his life have now given Cloud9 a gateway back into this round. Smoke is going to stop that push for the time being, looking if they can see over the top of it, but that's not going to be the case. Dick Stacy. Did he just catch a glimpse of Zelsis?
I think he did, because you can see on the minimap Malta is starting to cheat over just a little bit. Yeah, Pop Flash is being held out for his teammate coming out of market right now. This would be big if Urkos can find this kill. It's a late peek after the flashbang. Big win for Urkos, though. Bails his teammate out, but they're already pressuring. Again, Urkos holds the line. Buys time for Dick Stacy to readjust his position, but Keo has won these before in this map.
He sure has, and he's gone to task with the first. This time 30 seconds. He's got more than enough time, and more importantly, he's landed the headshot onto Malta. Deja vu for Greyhound Gaming, collectively face-palming. 5 HP. And a dream, and it's going to have to be the kill because the bomb is a horrible spot for him to pick out. Dexter comes out into the open, and purely off the basis that Kiyoshima was 1 bullet away from death, just about clutches. You can see they're just saying amongst themselves, how are we letting this even happen? Even get close to happening again.
Yeah, that's got to be the worrying thing. That is just that pressure that builds up on you when Keo again is just in the midst of almost winning a 1 versus 3. They've had so many opportunities. They don't have any more mistakes to give up in that fashion. Last round of the half, 6-8, still in the favor of Cloud9. But Greyhound has caught a little bit of momentum. I think this is, what, 3 or 4 straight for them at the moment. Sterling going to get boosted in through the hole. Heads out towards Catwalk, but Cloud9's going to come through the smoke. This is going to be so tough, and yeah, that's scope. That's the dualies. Flusha, an entry with the dualies, and then he picks up the op, and he builds upon it. Dexter finally here, but they've already streamed in. They have too good of angles on his position. But the health is so low for Cloud9. There is still a world in where this retake works. I take it all back. I take it all back.
Yeah, Urkast has a Molotov. Could maybe burn 1 player out, but that's about it. That's the right idea, but he's shooting a circle around Flusha. And, well, Flusha's going to return the favour, but he won't miss. 9-6 at half-time.
The wily veteran, Flusha opens everything up with dualies for his team. That takes us to halftime. We're going to return with the conclusion of this second match when we return. Stay tuned.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Pay Safeguard.
(9-6) in the favor of Cloud9 to start off this second half, and we were just talking, it is actually a miracle that Greyhound even has 6 on the board despite everything that occurred to them. An ace in the pistol round for Zelsis, Keo wins a 1 versus 3. I mean, they've had some miraculous rounds, Cloud9, already in this game, and for Greyhound to still keep it this close, pretty impressive. But certainly the pressure is on.
I think it's testament to how well they've actually played in this match so far, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it. But they were on the CT side. Now things are going to get a bit more spicy. Damage being inflicted, but no one has fallen for Greyhound, so it is going to be a retake. They do have a kit, but no nades, just a smoke to play with in the hands of Rush.
Now he does have Zelsis and Flusha far back coming to join up with him to help out. Rush is going to be the tip of the spear, but actually, look at that. Oh, they don't expect the angle! A triple kill, a quick one for Rush. And again, more Cloud9 magic as he retakes the bomb site.
That is absolutely disgusting. Not a single point of health lost for him either. And now it's up to Urcast to try and return the favour, but Rush is on for 4. He's on for the ace. Dexter is trying desperately to stay alive in the smoke. Going to take his knife out and just swipe. It's not going to happen. Kiyashima is going to bayonet him against the wall, and Cloud9 successfully retake, and Rush take a bow.
What a sick pistol round. He is very good in that position. He did the same exact thing to FaZe over at Ely, coming out of that CT spawn spot. And again, just another heartbreak. Just one detail, one small detail overlooked for Greyhound, and that's the consequence. They line up for Rush. It's beautiful.
Something else to take into account as well. Cloud9 have won both pistols, and they went 4-0 in the first half. So it goes to show how well Greyhound battled back, but losing that second pistol round now, the pressure is certainly going to be square on their shoulders. Org M4s, just the 1 MP9 picked up, and Greyhound have no Kevlar. They are going to get shredded if Zelsis gets anywhere near them.
At the moment, looking for a mistake out of Cloud9, which is not forthcoming. And they just don't want to mess with mid. 2 flashbangs to work with, 4 players convening towards the B bomb site in the B halls, and Dexter left alone to challenge with the Deagle. And if he could get this kill here, that'd be huge. And he lines it up, and he gets the second shot right through the box. A peek, though, from Zelsis right before you rotate. Smart play, he knows what's coming. Nobody leaves the B bomb site, and Cloud9 going to be able to hold on to this one. Dick Stacy just being annoying as he's not fully committing to the peak. Dexter and Malta still alive, but the bomb is dropped in the site. Dexter could find Keo, but he's not looking down, and Keo's going to be fine with that. He's going to be happy.
That peek from Zelsis was so vitally important. If he doesn't do that, there's a chance that they actually both rotate off B site, or at least one of them does, and he just gets completely overwhelmed. Could have been a completely different story.
Or at the very least, Greyhound gets a plant out of it. Even if they lose the round, that money's going to help out in a big way. Still, third round of the second half, and plenty of cash flow for the Australian side. All AKs, great utility. For Cloud9, they still have an SMG and a FAMAS on Zelsis and Flusha, respectively. Flusha's going to be pushing towards top mid.
Risky, especially as he's by himself. No 2-player stack this time. Gonna smoke the top of mid. Bit of damage inflicted to Automatic in amongst the Rockers, but nothing to write home about. Zelsis, though, is perched in B apps, all by his lonesome, with the aforementioned MP9.
I like this play from Cloud9, though. That pressure in mid. Look, Flusha falls back right after he does it. Good kill from Zelsis. They funneled Greyhound over towards this B bomb site where they can rotate most of their manpower, and they have just lured them into a hit onto this B bomb site, and it's turning out to be a complete wash. Cloud9 eliminating systematically everyone from Greyhound in these halls. It's Sterling at a 1-on-3.
And the bomb just out of arm's reach is going to take down Flusha, but now the nades start to rip in. Taking shrapnel out of his kneecaps. 29 health remaining. Does have enough time, though, to pick up the bomb and to put some doubt in the mind of Cloud9. Tries to go out and peek instead, lands a headshot, nearly the second. And that would have been a bit of justice served for Greyhound Gaming, all the clutches they've lost, but Sterling slightly off.
Just barely, but a very heroic attempt. And for Cloud9, they're going to be fine with sacrificing some of those guns down the stretch, taking those peaks, as they can still afford to buy into this next round. Going to assume it's going to be at the most a half buy out of Greyhound, so another SMG for Zelsis, who had that opening kill on those B-halts. 12-6 now for Cloud9, really extending their lead.
FNATIC burning a little bit. And Dexter going to be making a move aggressively with the Desert Eagle. Similar to what we saw previously. Last time he got a 1 dig off. Is history going to repeat itself? No, this time Rush will stand tall with his AUG. But there was another kill elsewhere. Zelsis went down to the hands of Malta. So Cloud9 still got to spread themselves out a little bit more thinly. Only have the one player on B, which is Flusher.
Ooh, mistake from Keo. But Rush with that AUG, scoped in. Going to be an easy kill, some precision shots coming out. But Greyhound have done a great job here. Regardless of what happens for the rest of this, limiting the money of Cloud9, keeping it low, they can get a reset, close the gap just a little bit, and actually Cloud9 entirely rotating out of position, which is surprising because Rush is taking control of A ramp. Flush is still coming over. This is a gamble onto the A bomb site, and they're going to lose this one.
So bomb is going to go down. They're just making sure there's no one sneaking around on the B site. Oh, Malta, no.
It's okay.
Punished for it, though.
I'm wondering if Cloud9 is actually going to go for this. And I think because they had Rush in towards T-spawn and realizing he can have this flank, I think they will. 2 kits, smoke flash nade to be used by Cloud9, and Flusha being patient. He's waiting for this flank to come in before he makes his move. Now coming in, some pre-fire. Has to contend with Sterling, and he's looking for the peak, and he won't be able to find the frag. Good shot from Sterling with the deagle, but Rush still alive in this scenario. Gets the dink, but not the kill. And the deagles ring true for Greyhound. So a lifeline is extended.
The classic, you think you killed him, switch to your second target, but actually still alive, and you've just been wrecked. They did go for the retake. It's going to cost them.
It's pretty interesting. I wonder if that got like registered as through the edge of that wall, because the AUG can one-hit kill to armored opponents, but maybe he just wasn't in the range. I'm not quite sure exactly what that range is. I know it's nothing crazy. You have to be pretty close for it to work out in that fashion, but I thought that would have been close enough, personally.
But it does put Cloud9 on the back foot significantly. Just the P250 and Desert Eagle. Zelsis actually down to $1,500, even though he's invested nothing. So even going through into the next round is not going to be great for Cloud9.
No, this is a great chance for Greyhound to start to claw themselves back into this. You can get one more reset, one more gun round win, and I think you can really close the gap and almost tie things up. Might be a 12-10, 12-11 situation, so you'll be right back in it. Stacked towards the B bomb site though for Cloud9, so Greyhound has to be careful they don't spring the trap.
I thought for a second the bomb was going to be moving into B-apps, but keeping their options open. Bomb now in mid, getting a hand in connector. As Malta's found Zelsis, but he's by himself. Pop flash out, going to peek to see if there's anyone else here. Taking some damage from the boosted position.
Doesn't matter. Dick Stacy's already moved in towards the A bomb site. He's being the most aggressive player on Greyhound in this round, and he's going to find that it's a free bomb site. So bomb is just going to rotate over. It was in the middle of the map, and now getting planted over towards A. It should be an 8th round for Greyhound, and indeed it will. No chance for Cloud9 to pull off another miracle.
Yeah, considering their economy, holding onto the Kevlar and Deagle for Kiyoshima wouldn't be a horrible take out of the round. Greyhound being more tentative. They know that their economy's not in great shape either. Sterling, Urkas both below $1,000 before the end of this round. Oh, automatics found Urkas. Going to get himself that second AK. Not quite. Malta's going to stop him. But Kiyoshima will be able to save his armor and Deagle.
As you said, the money not great for Cloud9 into this next round, so it should be another where half buy, some upgraded pistols, maybe a little bit of utility to try and apply some pressure to this attack from Greyhound, but overall they're going to be at a big disadvantage. Still with the lead in this game, in a pretty decent lead, 12-8. This next gun round is going to be so important. The nice thing for Greyhound is they haven't taken a whole lot of damage in these rounds. So they're actually building up a bit of a buffer in terms of their money, where if they lose that next gun round, they'll still have a chance to respond immediately. Pop flash setup. Flusha waiting for the call out, likely from Zelsis of when to flash. Zelsis hears the footsteps, top mid. They're not exposed to this though. They're not going to be blind. They weren't close enough for that to be as effective as they wanted it. And the danger is swept aside.
To at least get the one kill out of it for Kirishima, but because it's the top of mid, they're not going to be able to salvage the AK. Drop from the hands of Urcast. Nearly had his spray on point to pick up 3 or 4 kills. They're all piled out of connector. Greyhound again taking their sweet time. Don't want to walk into any traps at this stage. Taking some mid control. Still have plenty of nades too. 2 smokes, couple Molotovs. And it's really only Rush that's on the B side of the map with a 5-7. And he's got 28 health to his name.
He shouldn't be able to get anything done, and actually he's just moved out of the position. But that is a pretty dangerous off angle for the 5-7. He's going to try and get back to it. There's the one, almost follows it up. That would have been great. Kyo spamming through the smoke. There's no one left to defend that B bomb site. 9th round looking likely for Greyhound as the remaining Cloud9 players rotate over, but that AK-47 at top mid, excuse me, the AWP. Flusha finds an AWP. There's a bit of a mistake, it feels, from Greyhound. You can understand why they swapped it out. As an AWP, not the most wieldy weapon to try and clear all the awkward corners inside the B bomb site, but Cloud9's going to be so happy. They're going to be throwing a party.
Automatic certainly will. Going to get himself an AWP going into the next round.
And an AK.
Out of nowhere, yeah. It does seem like a couple of slight mistakes that could catch up with Greyhound, but they are going to get the round all the same.
They're the small, forgivable mistakes that you can understand, though. Like, if you're Greyhound, you're just saying, listen, who cares if they get the AK or the AWP? Let's just make sure that we close this round out. Let's just make sure we get the 9th round on the board, which they have done. It will make the next round harder for them, but just got to take your victories where you can at this level of an underdog.
Credit to Sterling as well. He had a bit of a rough start to this game. I think he was 0-6 at one stage.
Yep.
Certainly bounced back. He's been a driving force for Greyhound in recent rounds. But with the saved AWP, Cloud9 going to be able to get a very healthy buy to their name. So another huge test awaits Greyhound Gaming if they want to cause this upset.
What it really helps them do more than anything, it's not necessarily the free weapons this round, it's the amount of money they're able to save by not investing. So moving forward, they have a little bit of a buffer themselves. If they choose to save 2 or 3 guns, they'll likely be able to drop one over to a teammate. So it buys them probably another round that they can have a pretty strong fight in.
Rush. A shoulder peeking, see if he can find anyone on the ramp. As soon as he hears all those smokes flying above his head, going to throw one down himself, try and cordon off the area. They do check dark, and he's only quite disappointed he didn't get a kill from that. Kirishima also doing a chunk of damage, but no kill. Dick Stacy and Malta a bullet away from death, but they have made enough of a move onto the A site to get the plant. Automatic holds the line, though, onto Dexter.
And Dick Stacy's like, hell no, he's bailing out, waiting for the flashbang from his team. Those don't actually land as much as they'd like, and the timing shot as well. Dick Stacy turns right into it. Cloud9, a chance to go for this now. It looked desperate. 3-on-3, here come the Molotovs, clear out the corners, automatic with the AWP. He's got the only 2 kills for Cloud9. Sterling standing on top of the bomb. The AWP is going to clear that position out as well. And it's all down to the remaining 2 players. The bomb is smoked off. Urcast has to get aggressive. Wins that fight. He's going to follow up on Flusha, spamming the angle. Flusha's not down yet, and there he goes. Another kill. An automatic can get on the bomb. A good spray, but they're going to bail out. The timer was too far gone. All 5 players fall for Greyhound, but they're going to be happy with the win.
Urcast putting such a shift towards the dying embers of that round. The kill on the player pushing from jungle and then doing enough damage to force the diffuser off the site meant everything for that round. But as you highlighted before, because of the lack of investment, we are going to see Cloud9 with another buy. Although it could be automatic. Oh, he does have an off. It's dropped out.
If they don't save those 2 weapons, they do not get this buy.
Sure.
They can likely have, you know, the one op they saved and pistols around it if they wanted to, but what a huge benefit to be able to afford this.
Huge props to Greyhound, though.
Yeah,
lost both pistol rounds. Bunch of clutches, and yet they're breathing down the necks of Cloud9.
10-12 in the favor of Cloud9. It seemed like they were going to stroll away with this victory. Greyhound have fought so hard. They fought through some bad luck as well. Opening kill for Keo, and it's not the kill that hurts the most, it's the loss of map control towards the A side of the map. Keo can really shrink things down for Cloud9 to make their decision-making easier, although losing Flusha is a bit rough. B bomb site susceptible. Automatic has got to have some more fine offing. He misses that shot, but not the second. Not the follow-up, surely. Gives Cloud9 a 1-man advantage.
Downside is, though, because of his angle, it doesn't stop the terrorists from getting onto the site and getting this bomb planted. So they're now going to have to funnel their way through the very claustrophobic side of Kitchen to get back on the site where you can already hear the fire is chunking down Automatic's health. He's on 52 as it stands. And although Greyhound have a player deficit, their positions are moving into crossfires. This is going to be a rough ask for Cloud9, especially as they've lost the last 2 players in this round, putting it all on to both Kirishima and Automatic. And I don't think they want any part of this. I think they're just going to pull back and try and save.
They, yeah, absolutely are. Automatic wants nothing to do. He wants the op in the next round. They want to trap the rest of Greyhound inside this bomb site. Use the bomb blast to take some money and weapons away. Sterling, I don't think he's going to fall. He's brought down to 64, and Malta survives as well. 12-11. I have no idea how Greyhound have done this. I don't know how they've mentally stayed in this game after those crazy losses in the first half. And now they're doing a great job. They're doing exactly what we heard Dick Stacy talk about in the video in our pregame. Instead of getting wild, instead of getting crazy aggressive, they're just slowly taking map control and finding their advantages as they go. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a whiff smoke, though.
That's not ideal.
T spawn. I believe one of them was for window and one was for short, where you can see Automatic currently. Yeah, it's window that's left open now. And that is significant. That stops and stifles their push out mid. So those are 2 wasted smokes effectively.
And if they wanted to smoke window, they'd have to use one that likely has a different goal for later on in the round. That's one more smoke they won't be able to use to take a bomb site. Small mistake can have big consequences.
Certainly a rippling effect, especially as Cloud...
I thought that was going to land.
So did I. It's that same sort of feeling you get on overpass when the players jump up. You know, Ullman kept getting wrecked off players.
Yeah.
The same feeling. It's actually a position that Oscar's really sicking with Yorp.
This is a couple rounds now. Greyhound has had some really nice calling. They've caught Cloud9 on the defenses that are, you know, least positioned to deal with their attack. One player, that's Rush, playing back towards Ticket Booth. It's going to have to be a retake onto this A bomb site.
Credit to Greyhound Gaming as well for even being in this position, being adaptive and versatile for that early whiff. A flashbang to precede the peak, and it's Rush that takes him down. I don't think they'll expect a second player to be up close, though. Nurkap could absolutely tee off, but there's too many players. 3 pushing him down, leaving Dexter in a 1-on-4. And he's not going to get anything. Kirishima, far too wise, far too grizzled veteran to let that position best him.
Really nice spacing from Cloud9, though, on the retake. That is a good example of intelligent baiting. Not following so closely on Rush's heels and not allowing Urkas to get a double kill. Letting him kind of lead the way with a little bit of extra space, scout things out, you find out where the player's position is, and you can react accordingly. 13-11. Another buy still for Greyhound. Thanks to some of the successes they had earlier in this half, and Cloud9 was forced back on towards Pistol, not taking too many losses, having plenty of money build up so they can afford a healthy buy despite losing a round. If they're to reset Cloud9 here, actually, excuse me, they can't do that because Cloud9 had so many players survive, but the economy for Cloud9 isn't necessarily the best.
That's a double Molotov, I believe, in BAPS as well, which has instantly been extinguished.
Did Rush spot that? don't know if he did, but now he's going to swing out for another kill, following up on automatic. That's the bomb down, and 2 players on the other side of the map. Greyhound, I think they're attempting a fake, but those Molotovs really stalled out the attack that was supposed to pull defenders away from A.
The 2 remaining terrorists completely isolated from one another too. As Dick Stacey tries to move in through ramp, Rush has the angle on him. Not one that you'd normally check straight off, and the only reason why Dick Stacey's still alive is Rush was so low on health. Still did 2/3 of his health and damage though, so Dick Stacey's going to piece out of there. Bomb also not under his control. He's at a horrible spot in the middle of A.
Yeah, and that was the first death, I think, of their attempt to take the bomb site. So, I mean, there was no joy in that hit whatsoever from Greyhound. Dick Stacey's rotated all the way around towards mid, but Cloud9's already got eyes on it. Zelsis is aware of the possibility. Although, automatic, that's a weird position to be at triple boxes. Good shot from Zelsis. 13 and 16 for him.
So 14-11. Cloud9 have weathered a bit of a storm. Now things are looking a bit clearer for them. But what we've already seen in this match is that Greyhound do have quite a bit of tenacity.
Yeah.
They can bounce back, although their economy...
Yeah, it's a really disheartening position if you're one of the players on Greyhound, where it's 11-14 and you can't even fight for the win.
Yeah.
You have to let them get to 15.
Disheartening too to know that if you hadn't let a couple of those clutches go against you, you'd actually probably be in the lead right now instead.
It's probably not disheartening now. It's probably when they have to think about it after this is over.
When they watch the demo and realise how many opportunities they had.
No, don't watch the demo. Don't do it.
Too much of a heartbreak. But they're still in this. Of course, Counter-Strike. Pistols are a hell of a thing. Kirishima spots himself a couple of players and underpasses, some nade damage inflicted, and the Molotov will stop any revenge attempt from Sterling's teammates.
Oh, look at the way Keo and Flusha are just swapping positions to watch. As Flusha gets bored, wants to get aggressive. That's a great tap from Keo. And the Europeans decimating in mid. Great teamwork. It is still so weird seeing Kirishima and Flush on Cloud9, but I kind of like it.
Me too. This hasn't been the greatest performance from Cloud9, but again, look, FNATIC just found out the hard way. The first game is always a bit of a nightmare. So if they can have their rocky, sort of shaky match here and just build from it and still get a win. Listen,
you're at the major. A win is a win. It doesn't matter how ugly it looks. Get to the next round. Pop flash towards top mid. Keo, he wanted that kill. He's going to get the follow-up. I think he knows there's a second player there. I think he realizes that wasn't the initial player that he saw. Follow-up flashbang as well at Keo. He loves this fight, and he's winning them all. Kiyoshima, 3 kills at top mid. Cloud9 a huge advantage to take this map 16-11.
No problem with that aim. Pixel, perfect precision. Malta able to get a kill of his own, and B is now actually open. Unfortunately for Greyhound, it's not their bomb carrier that's through onto the B site.
The tough part is Malta has to make this play. He has to go in towards market to hold off these rotations, which leaves his teammates susceptible to a catwalk play.
Exactly what happened, and there's Rush to put the final nail in the coffin. It was valiant, but ultimately Cloud9 will get past the finish line. No, but you do just have to feel bad for Greyhound in a way. A 1-on-4, or 4-on-1, excuse me, from Greyhound's perspective, lost in the pistol. A 3-on-1 lost to Kiyoshima later. I think there was one more pretty devastating in that first half as well for Cloud9. But some miracles pulled out from the C9 side. Yeah, you had the Kiyoshima final bullet through the smoke onto the diffuser. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. I forgot about that one. That one hurts too. It stings. Yes, unfortunately for Greyhound, they are going to drop this second map, their first of the major. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, we'll get that third match underway for you.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all? ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
All eyes are on you, so give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.